Hello, and welcome to an experience unlike any other. Are you ready for a ride that you never asked for? Just kidding. Hello. Welcome to Maybe It's Me podcast, the podcast where I, Carlos Ramirez, and a whole bunch of my friends give you unsolicited, unwarranted, unasked for, but sometimes funny, sex advice. My name is Carlos Ramirez, and I am here alone this week. There has been a 2-week hiatus, and I want to say thank you. Thank you so much for waiting. Took a necessary just break to reflect and make the podcast even better. So I'm so excited for these last 6 episodes of the season. Season 1 is going to be 10 episodes, and it's going to be great. So how has everyone been? I know Pride Month is coming to an end. I did go to New York City Pride. If I saw anyone there, I want to say I love you so much. If you saw me or you see my Instagram, I just want to say I had a super good time. It was my first Pride ever. And so it was just amazing. It was everything I wanted it to be. I wish I went home a little bit sooner. I was a little bit tired, but that's fine. I don't really drink, that's why. But it was still a good time. Loved it. Didn't need to drink to have fun, which was amazing. The environment was great. The floats were amazing. Super, super happy. New York City Pride was just everything I wanted to be. And I really, really hope the same for you and that you have safe environments and there was a local Pride that you were able to go to. I feel very fortunate, and I just wish the same upon everyone else. So hope June and Pride has been a wonderful experience. And if not, it does get better. Life gets better. Just keep pushing. All right. That's what's told to me, the love that's been given to me. So I give it back. So back to the podcast. Again, if anyone has forgotten, we have a 6 topic of the day, and then I go right into your advice questions. So let's get right into it. I missed all of you. I'm excited. Alrighty, getting right into it. The sex topic of the day is provided by ScienceDaily.com. Not that they sponsor the podcast, that's just where I found it. The topic is low sexual satisfaction linked to memory decline later in life. So this was published on May 30th, 2023 by Penn State. I am excited. To be frank, I'm excited to read this article. I skimmed over it. I'm only going to give you about 2 paragraphs and just kind of talk about it. The article states, low sexual satisfaction in middle age may serve as an early warning sign for future cognitive decline, according to a new study led by Penn State researchers. The study, which tracked associations between erectile function, sexual satisfaction, and cognition in hundreds of men aged 56 through 68, found that declines in sexual satisfaction and erectile function were correlated with future memory loss. Ooh, okay. The study published in the latest issue of the journal Gerontologist is the first to longitudinally track sexual satisfaction in tandem with sexual health and cognition, the researchers state. And its findings point to a potential novel risk factor for cognitive decline. What was unique about our approach is what we measured memory function and sexual function at each point in the longitudinal study, so we could look at how they changed together over time, said Martin Slowinski, professor of human development and family studies at Penn State and co-author on the study. What we found connects to what scientists are beginning to understand about the link between life satisfaction and cognitive performance. The study explored the relationship between physical changes like the The study explored the relationship between physical changes like the microvascular changes relevant for erectile function and psychological changes such as lower sexual satisfaction to determine how the changes relate to cognition. They examined the shift starting in middle age because it represents a transition period where declines in erectile function, cognitive, and sexual satisfaction begin to emerge. Slowinski added that while the team discovered a strong correlation between the three health factors, they can only speculate as to the cause. Scientists have found that if you have low satisfaction generally, you are at a higher risk for health problems like dementia, Alzheimer's disease, cardiovascular disease, and other stress-related issues that can lead to cognitive decline. He said, improvements in sexual satisfaction may actually spark improvement in memory function. We tell people they should get more exercise and eat better foods. We're showing that sexual satisfaction has also importance for our health and general quality of life. For the study, the researchers used survey data from 818 men who participated in the Vietnam-era twin study of aging. Through neuropsychological tests, such as tests of memory and processing speed, they examined cognitive changes of participants over the 12-year span from age 56 to 68, adjusting for participants' cognitive ability in young adulthood. Their erectile function and sexual satisfaction were measured alongside cognition, using the International Index of Erectile Function, a self-reported assessment for male sexual health. The researchers then built a statistical model to understand how the three variables changed as the individuals aged. All right, and if anyone doesn't know, a longitudinal study is a research design that involves repeated observations of the same variables over long periods of time. So this is really common in like observational studies, such as the one that I just mentioned. It also can be used in other ones like randomized experiments, but it's more used for ones like this. So great. I mean, if I'm going to give my hot take, I just feel like it makes sense. I feel that almost like coincides with like how society is moving. I know health is a bigger industry than it ever has been. There's more of an importance on like living your life in the moment or ensuring that you live a more positive, fulfilling lifestyle rather than just chasing money or chasing a goal or chasing whatever it may be, right? That overall to take care of yourself and for whatever that may be. And if that is earning money, that is having a family, that's great. But it's truly just centered around society. I mean, like this billion-dollar health industry is truly centered around like making you your best self and what that means. So I view this study as very informative. It makes me feel like this industry isn't crazy, and that there is a very big importance to health. I think we've found this out in like many other aspects, right? Like general exercise, whether it's walking or even like standing instead of sitting in an office all day, can like really change your life, right? Like standing desks are becoming more of a norm, things of that nature. So segue over to like sexual health. I mean, I don't know why it wouldn't also transfer to sex, at least in men, right? I'm not a woman. I don't know the woman's experience, but I do know that men are much more sexual creatures and are more sexually driven. So if the basis of a man is kind of like sex and like this is just a general driver, to not be satisfied in that way, I could only imagine will cause some type of decline later because you're not taking care of yourself. And I think that's ultimately what it is, right? So the study I think is like super fascinating. I love looking at studies. I'm probably going to look at the data later, like charts to see if there are any, because I appreciate also how in this article they don't just give you a solid conclusion. I didn't read all of it, but the snippet I read where all we can do is speculate, I'm like in love with that. I love how he didn't give us a firm answer, but he is finding something and relaying that information over. And yeah, I'm like really excited. Maybe I'll like follow up like in season 2, like find that professor and ask him to comment. I think this is great for everyone who is having sex is they want to have sex. In the gay community, sex is rampant. And so I just want to let everyone know that they will have healthier brains, better cognitive ability. That's not what he said, but that's what I got from it. So you're going to have a better cognitive ability if you partake in sex more often. I don't want to say hookup culture, but I will say just having sex, sexual relations, maybe entanglements, situationships, something other than a boyfriend or a spouse. Maybe it is the spouse, right? Maybe it is just having more sex with your partner. And I think I love how it just encourages that. But I think ultimately too, it really encourages like prioritizing yourself and your needs. Like, what are your needs? And like, if it is sex one way or another, don't be ashamed of that. Like, don't be scared of it. Like, it's okay to have a partner that also feels the same way. And if they don't, or they're not meeting your needs, like, that's fine. Like, you communicate. I'm not saying like go cheat on your partner. Like, you need to communicate that with your partner and then kind of go from there. Like, how are you making yourself the best for the long run, right? And I could only imagine too, like, imagine having kids and like you're hitting like your 60s and you're starting declining. And I feel like that's a common experience. Like, oh my, like I need to help my parents. I feel like I hear from a lot of millennials. And yeah, so I love this study. And we always hear about sex, and that's really why I'm doing this. It's just kind of to normalize it and to talk about it, because we're all doing it anyways. So it is normal and it's healthy to have sex, and it can really help you. And then if it's something that and you feel you need in your life, be healthy, right? And don't like rape anyone. That I hope I don't have to say that, but do not force sex upon anyone. That is literally a crime. I don't condone it. Don't commit crimes, but communicate with the people you would do that with in your life. And yeah, or just communicate with yourself. Just kind of like sit down, talk to yourself. Do something you want, something you need. I don't think sexual satisfaction always means like penetration. I think there is at least a part of like intimacy, like just general intimacy that can be a bit sexual. So if it's just like going out and getting attention and not letting that get to your head, but like meeting other people and just like being around like people who find you attractive and vice versa, so essentially I'm just saying it's just kind of human interaction, just in a more like sexual way. I think that's also something that could contribute to just like living a better life and getting the sexual satisfaction that you really want. I think that, may be a solution. Me, myself, and I mean, I don't have an issue. If this is true, I mean, I'll be good. I'll be good and cognitive for a while, right? This head will be at least decent. I don't want to say good because I feel like I'm beyond good. I don't think my head is good anymore. Well, I mean my ability to think. That's all I'm going to say. I think my ability to think is, subpar. But the other head, I'm going to guess user reviews. I don't know why that's what I was going to say. That's not user reviews. Yeah, I'm just in love with this study. I'm also really biased. Like I have my degree in chemistry, so I really love reading studies. There's a base level of interest I have. But yeah, I think ultimately this just reinforces to prioritize yourself, your health, and if you want to be there for others in the future, this is me. This what I'm about to say is not the article. But if you want to be there for others and you want to continue to be supportive and to experience life as best as you can, like take care of yourself and prioritize yourself. So that's what I got from that. I don't know exactly at all how that means anything to the article. I mean, it does. It does. Yeah. So yeah, what do you guys think, right? Do you agree with what I just said? How did the article make you feel? What did it make you think about? This is a hot take. I didn't fully read this article until just now. I just really love the message it's sending. I love how such a major university with with an enormous amount of resources is really taking a look at like lifestyle, which kind of goes back to, you know, like nature versus nurture, how we raise our children and how we exist in the world, and like the importance of your lifestyle for your future happiness. And it doesn't even have to be happiness. It's just like future ability to function, right? You hear people all the time who were like big partiers and like they get older and now they just full blown can't function, or they needed surgeries, can't hear properly, things of that nature. I'm getting a bit off topic from the sex topic, but the sex topic really is to keep fucking. Okay, so we are going to get into sexual questions. I am super excited. It's been so long, so I'm just super hype, just so overwhelmingly ready to just get into these questions and give you my honest opinions. It's been some time, but let's have some fun. All right, so getting right into it. We have someone who just has a couple of questions. So they sent me a bulleted list of 3 questions here. So here we go. What is the strangest thing you've masturbated with? Mine isn't weird. I don't think I've masturbated with anything in particular that is different than normal, to be quite honest. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't use anything too crazy. I'm a dildo type of person. I'm lube. Yeah, I don't think. I mean, lotion. No, that's not even weird. That's fail. No, yeah. Anything the strangest thing you masturbated with? I don't have a real answer to that. I mean, but people do use like fruits and vegetables and things of that nature. And if you ask me, that is quite odd to shove up your ass or inside your vagina. I don't have one though. What is the strangest place you've masturbated in an semi-open field? And that is all I'm going to say about that one. I don't know if I've besides that, it's just been like car, public, not really, like a bathroom. I've done it in a bathroom. But other than that, what is like I don't even know. Like how strange can you really get? And maybe anything in public is strange. So I've had public sex. So if we're going to say that, then that. But I mean, just like an open field, like literally in the center of the field too. Like not even like on the side, like to be slick, like in the center of the field. Yeah. And then have you ever masturbated with a friend? No. No, I have not. And so to kind of comment on these questions though, the strangest thing you've masturbated with, I think there's a difference between something being strange yet normal and something being strange and weird. I mean, I guess I can conceptually understand why you would shove a grapefruit. I meant a cucumber. Why you would shove a cucumber inside of you. Because it's like the perfect... It literally looks like a dildo. Other than that, I mean, I really can't think of other things that you would shove inside of you. I don't know. I don't know what else you would. I mean, glass dildos are safe, but glass in general isn't. So I don't know like how strange things could be. And I know these are like really like personal questions. To be quite honest with you. And then I realized this question said, what is the strangest place you've masturbated in? Not like had sex. So I just kind of gave you information that you just full blown did not ask for. What is the strangest place you've masturbated in? I mean, my car. If we're going to be honest, like my car. That's all I can really think of. I don't really have anything. I mean, just don't get arrested for public nudity. Like, I don't condone that. Please don't do that. Do not do it around children. Yeah, I mean, keep your fetishes to yourself. Stream. Use streaming services. They are not free, and they shouldn't be. So, Yeah, I don't really have a real answer for that besides my car, and I don't condone people doing weird things around people they shouldn't. And have you ever masturbated with a friend? I mean, when I think about this question, so my answer is no, but I really wonder what level of friend are you just masturbating with? Is that normal? I don't get it. I mean, I guess I do. If you were like in a confined area or you lived with someone, I guess I can see how these things may just happen. But I feel that I am still a bit about the level of your friendship. So great. That was a quick 3 questions. Don't have much to say about them. However, be safe. You didn't ask how to be safe, but I'm just going to tell you to be safe. All righty. Next person. So this is directed to guys, to men. Guys, have you ever tried swallowing your own cum? No. Have you ever had sex with a relative or family friend? No. What is the greatest age discrepancy between yourself and someone you've had sex with? LOL. That, we're going to go to that last question later. Have you ever tried swallowing your own cum? No, but I have tasted it. I do think that is more of a gay thing. I can understand. I think all men are just a bit more curious than society allows us to be. I feel like I could see the average straight man kind of just being curious. Like maybe they're not going to do it, but at least being curious about how their own cum tastes, at least under the age of 40. Right? I think a men above the age of 40 may come from a different generation where they just don't think about it. But I think that's very normal to at least have tasted it. Because swallowing, like, I don't know. How would you swallow your own? Like, I'm not scooping it up and swallowing. That's disgusting. Like, even for men that I'm sleeping with, that is disgusting. Like, do not scoop and then have me swallow your cum. And the ability to do it, like, right from, like, to lean over, right? And to just do it to yourself requires a size and a flexibility that most men just do not have. And when I mean most, I mean large majority. Right? Because it's not even just the size of the penis that needs to be there. It's also the flexibility that needs to, and to be able to like bend your back in your neck without hurting yourself is not something everyone can do. I do not recommend it if it's like pushing your limits. That can be unsafe. Have you ever had sex with a relative or family friend? That the answer is just simply no. Don't do that. That's weird. Period. What is the greatest age discrepancy between yourself and someone you've had sex with? Long silence. I think I'm going to be honest and say anywhere from 35 to 40 years. Right? I didn't know that. I will say. I don't like ask if I don't feel the need to. So, I mean, that is what I would say, right? I found out like later, like when you're like putting your shoes on, you're like getting some water and you like have a conversation. That is something I found out after the fact, consciously slept with. Like I knew they were older than me. It was like 25 years. That was someone I had like just asked before I slept with them. I knew that before I slept with them. Obviously, when someone's like 35, 40 years old, you know that they're older than you, but I didn't know it was that great. And to add on to that, I mean, there are some wonderful, older, mature, I don't want to say older, mature, well-experienced people out there, not just men and women. Like, give them a shot, right? I don't mean that in like any type of weird way, but like people above the age of 50 exist. Many of them take care of themselves as well. And so like just don't discriminate purely just based off of age, right? Like look at the person you're denying first. I mean, it's a bit odd, right? So I'm not like telling 20-year-olds to go sleep with 60-year-olds. But what I am saying is that if you yourself know that you are like, I'm going to say 21 plus. I do think 18, 19, 20, even like 21 is a bit young, and I'm only 25. But I mean, 21 and like a 65-year-old, it just seems a little bit predatory. But Yeah, I mean, someone who's in like their mid 20s, I don't shoo away people just because you know that they're older. I mean, really just kind of judge them for how they present themselves, which no one asked for, but I'm just going to tell you that anyways. I have had some great, let me tell you, some great experiences with people that much. So, yeah, wonderful. All right, so here is another question. Where are some low risk places to have sex in public? Here we go. My boyfriend has a huge fetish for public sex. We live in a big city and I indulge him occasionally. We have done it with me bent over on the hood of his car, in a deserted dark parking lot at night, in the water at a beach in Mexico with people everywhere, but we were out a bit deeper than them, and various other places. Looking back, these places seem like terrible places to do it. The risk seems too high. I am still absolutely terrified of getting caught. So maybe you can help me out by telling me some good low risk places / strategies about how to do this. Also, do you have any insight as to what the legal consequences for getting caught are? Also, any tips on how I can relax and enjoy it and not be so scared the whole time? This is our main incompatibility as a couple, and I'd love to find a way to indulge his fantasy with minimal risk. Thanks. Woo! Okay, so I have also done it over a car. I should add that. I have done it there. I just don't think that's that weird. I guess it depends where the car is parked, but I don't find that so odd, especially if there's no one there. But it doesn't seem, based on how she's describing her boyfriend and his interests, that's what they're going to be doing. Yeah, so to go and answer like the two questions within the question, do you have any insight on the legal consequences? No, I don't. I know you can get arrested for like public nudity and public indecency, especially if there are kids around. And I think that's the big difference. If there are kids around and they see you versus they're just being like adults, I would imagine there are different consequences. And then how you can relax the whole time and not be so scared. I don't think you're truly ever going to fully relax because in my mind, people who like public sex also love like the thrill, the rush, the excitement. So I don't know if it's ever intended to be a relaxing experience, but to not be so scared, I don't know. Like I think you would we'd have to solve the issue, right? Which is, where are some low risk places to have sex in public? I mean, I think at nights, anywhere pretty like desolate, obviously. So like, I don't think the parking lot was like the worst idea. The beach was a bad idea. That spot on. That was a bad idea. Because especially like in the water where other people are there, I guess if it was a quickie, and maybe that's also what I don't know. Are these quickies? Like, are you doing like them quick 5 minutes, or are they like full on sessions? Because quickies, I don't really have a comment for either. Where some are low, I don't think they're ever low risk. And if it is low risk, I don't know if your boyfriend would love it. It just seems like when you say this is our main incompatibility as a couple, like maybe this is a point where you split or may split, because if this really gets him off and he loves it and this is something he really wants to do with his partner and you simply just do not want to do that, that's fair on both of your ends. Like, you shouldn't feel bad for not feeling comfortable, and he shouldn't be pressuring you to do that. But he's not wrong for wanting it either, because there are plenty of people who love public sex. I mean, if you ask the right person, they're going to tell you that public sex is a bad thing. But like, we live in a big city and I indulge him occasionally. Yeah, I don't know. Like, if it's an important thing to him, like this is something that you feel you cannot move on as a couple until you conquer, like maybe you don't need to move on as a couple. To be quite honest, I'm not just gonna say like break up, but that's really all I can say about this. Like, if that's truly where it's preventing you from moving forward, then maybe you guys can just move in separate directions rather than forward, or move forward separately rather than together. So that's my advice. Where are some low risk places to have sex in public? It's not meant to ever be low risk. And if you don't want it in a bathroom, because that's not public. Yeah, I'm gonna stand by what I said. I don't really know because it's all really pretty high risk. And especially when you say you live in a big city, I mean, there's people everywhere. So maybe go forward apart. All right. This last question. So this is actually my last question of the day. And I'm really excited for this one. It's playing with candle wax during sex, question mark. I'm lost and my significant other wants this. Help. All right. I'm so excited for this because I remember I thought about it and I researched it once. Here we go. He told me that he wants to try having candle wax poured on him and he thinks he'd be really into it. I'm all up for it. We're both slight dom and sub things in the bedroom. Oh, sorry. We're both into slight dom and sub things in the bedroom and we like rough things like that. Except I have no experience in this. It makes me nervous because when my sister was a baby, she got candle wax poured onto her finger and now it's deformed and her nail doesn't grow right. I'm really worried about burning him and it scarring or being too much and hurting more than I thought it would. Any tips and advice? How far from his body should I hold the candle to where it cools? Are there special candles for this sort of thing? So I actually have like some actual answers for this, but I want to go back and say it makes me nervous because when my sister was a baby, she got candle wax poured onto her and now she has a deformed finger. I mean, I don't know what one has to do with the other because like one is a growing child, like developing. So, I mean, you could like hit a baby too hard and I don't mean like hit, I mean just like tap them too hard. You can hit their head by accident too hard and it'll change the way that they develop. And not always in a bad way, it can change. So I don't bring that into this, like try to really separate them and realize that one was a literal baby that was like traumatized, therefore and now has this deformity versus like you as an adult, like think burn, like, yeah, like just think burn. Which leads into how I'm going to answer this when I say think burn. So how far from his body should I hold the candle to where it cools down? And are there special candles for this? There are special candles for this. Do not go to your local store and just buy some candles and pour it on your partner. That will burn the living shit out of them. That is hot. You are going to burn them. It will hurt. It is not cute. It'll remove the moment. Do not do this. They do make candles for this specific purpose that have a lower melting point so the candle does not get as hot and the wax does not get as hot as you're pouring it onto your partner. Right? Like that is so key to know. Like do not just take your local Bath and Body Works candles and just start pouring the wax. I don't know why I thought the rewick, as I explained that either like someone's just taking the candle from the bedroom as they're doing it and just pouring it on their partner. But that's kind of what my mind went. Please don't do that. There are candles specifically. Go to a sex shop, order them online. Cool. Distance. I've also read that distance is significantly important. Even if you're using a regular candle, it's not saying that it can't work. I just wouldn't use it. But I mean, if you held it like 3 feet higher, there's a good chance that it may not burn. I don't even know that. But there is a chance it may not burn them because the distance is allowing the wax to cool. But you do want to do it a good distance above them, like a foot or no, like 2 feet, I would say would be safe. Support on them on the sex candles because again, the wax is not getting as hot. It melts at a lower temperature. So yeah, that's all I have to really say about that. Like, please be safe. Please, 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 please do not just take your regular candle and use the right ones at a good distance and you'll be fine. Because if you just go and because even though like the ones meant for it have a lower melting point, they're still getting really, really hot. Like if you're doing it like a couple inches above them, like you're still going to burn them because it's still a flame at the end of the day. So you have to just allow it. You know, now that I'm saying that, I'm second guessing myself whether it has a lower melting point or the wax cools quicker. But I mean, I think the wax would only cool quicker if the melting point was less anyways. So yeah, either or, they do make candles specifically for it. How would I do it? I mean, I think it would have to be like a sensual thing, right? Did you ask? Homegirl, let me see if you asked real quick. You said we're both slight dom and sub. Oh, any tips and advice? Yeah, I mean, I don't know why you would do it like mid pump or mid like just taking it, why you would want someone to do that. Or if you were like riding your partner, why you would, maybe that's what you would do it, riding your partner. And then maybe that wax would be like really it for them. If it's more of like an intimate, excuse me, or if it's more of an intimate, it's a slower process. You're like, hey, and it's, I mean, that's how I would imagine it going onto your skin, like, but it just being like, it barely does anything. So it's just hot. Like it would produce steam, but it's not going to. I think, yeah, that's what I would imagine you would want to do it during that moment. Maybe a massage, right? Just intimate. That's what the goal is. Slow, intimate moments is when I would pour wax on my partner. I don't want wax poured onto me. So for me, myself, and I can't imagine. I don't know what setting that I would like it, because I feel like it's also so temporary, right? So I just think during those intimate, slower moments, I think you would be a good time to use it. And yeah, but also, again, get the right candles, do your research on the candles that you are using, look at the reviews, and don't set anything on fire either. I actually should say that don't set anything on fire, because you are using fire and you're using wax, and you could be using lubes that are like oil based, or you could be using essential oils. So just be so careful, and do not take your Bath and Body Works ass candle and dump that shit onto your partner. Please don't do that. All right. Well, that's all I have today. I know today was a bit more of a serious, like, let's just give you advice and like tell you my opinions type of day, but that's the mood I've been in. I'm just so excited to be back doing the podcast every week again. So season 1 is going to be 10 episodes. So this is episode 5, making it midway through. Thank you so much to everyone who's listened. I love you all. I'm so appreciative. Again, you can find me at Maybe It's Pod on Instagram. Me personally at carlos.rami. That's carlos.rami. Yeah. on Instagram, right into the podcast. Maybe it's pod@gmail.com for your questions. And I'll see you next week. Love you so much. Bye. Mwah.